Hey everybody, welcome to a new replay analysis. We're looking at some gold games at the moment. I got some games from Muffler, who's a German streamer, around that era, gold, platinum. So it's mid to high gold at the moment, I think, in these replays. And just want to have a go at these again. I already had a quick peek at them, or at this one specifically, and there's a lot of things to learn from them, I think. So I just want to go ahead with it. If you have any of these replays, just please feel free to reach out to me if you want to have like your personal play analyzed. I can do that as well, but especially like just replays from silver, gold, and I would love to get some bronze replays because these are probably super interesting and easy to show off some learning effects. With that being said, obviously these low leagues are chosen because people make more outrageous mistakes, which are more easy to point out. But it's not bashing these leagues. Like, there's gold players that are really good, and they just constantly improve themselves. And then in some games you just play bad. That's the thing. We don't want to bash players here in these replay commentaries. It's more about learning what to generally avoid doing, and then apply that to ourselves. So if you're gold, if you're platinum, don't feel bad about being that. Because like nothing is bad, even if you're bronze 5, it's nothing bad about that. It's just to help you improve your game, basically. Okay, so let's have a look at the draft here. I have that open on a new page, which is called Heroes Share. If you haven't heard about that, it's very, very new, but you can look for replays as well. And with their premium account, you can download replays, which I might be taking advantage of in the future as well. So we have, as you can see on the blue side, Nazeebo, Gul'dan, Greymane, Auriel, and ETC. Pretty good lineup. The only thing that is missing is a proper solo laner. I know a lot of people think Nazeebo is a solo laner. He's not. He definitely wants to roam around and get his stacks. Otherwise, his level 20 will be even worse. Well, will be very worse, let's put it this way. And then Gul'dan can solo lane because he has great wave clear, but he needs to be the battery for Auriel in this game. So that does make a lot of sense. Let's see if I can see who they banned. Doesn't look like it. Interesting, I was sure I could see that. Anyway, moving on. The red team has a little bit better setup for wave clearing purposes. They have Butcher, Ana, Lunara, Diablo, and Zul. So if you have the first look at both of the teams, the blue team has great wave clear. Gul'dan, Greymane, and Auriel, those three can clear waves very quickly, so the 4-man rotation, if they do one, is very strong. Again, I'm assuming Nazeebo is going solo lane. His wave clear is pretty trash at the beginning of the game, and he wants to spread out his poison to hit all of the 7 minions, so he needs some time to set that up. On the red side team, Zul has amazing wave clear. Lunara is okay, so she's not super good unless she goes for her poison level 7 talent. But then again, that's 6 levels into the game. And then Butcher is kind of actually in a similar situation as Nazeebo is, where he just wants to stack. So his wave clear is not bad, but it's also not amazing. Okay, let's start the game. Let's see what people are picking. Block, I think, is good against Greymane. That's fine. E-quest on Gul'dan is fine. I personally don't like the Pandemic quest that much. Toads are more difficult to hit than spiders, in my opinion. But they have 3 melees on the red side, which will allow you to hit Toads much more easily. Piercing darts on Ana, that's normal. And then obviously Devil's Due on the Diablo. I like the increasing clarity on Auriel a lot, personally, because it just gives you even more time to, or more abilities to gather energy or hope. This is already a mistake. As a Nazeebo, you shouldn't be this far forward, especially against a Diablo. Like, he can throw you over, but he gets a stack off. It's good. This is a the Diablo is now in issues because, or is in trouble because his team didn't follow up on him. Good shadow charge to get out of it. Don't be AFK like this. Like, at the beginning of the fight, if you're not interested in fighting mid, that's okay, but then move on the other lanes. If you're just like AFK behind the wall, it just gives your team false security that you're actually coming. Lots of brawling. The red team is choosing pretty good targets. Greymane here, but then unfortunately for Zul, he falls Pretty straightforward mid brawl. Blue team does a better job of switching both lanes. They have Greymane and Gul'dan top and bottom. Red team is losing a complete lane of minions now. Top. This is something that I see a lot. That Diablos Shadow Charge first and then overpower. I think he was in range for an overpower first and then Shadow Charge. Have a look. So he's already still on the mount, and he's gonna get a guaranteed stun from the Butcher. He's dismounted now. Yeah, just stay where the Butcher is and overpower in this direction. Or you can Shadow Charge right here into this and then overpower when he walks away. This way he's too far on the towers and just get shot twice. Okay, once. That's something that you have to be careful about with your mechanics. He goes back. And now finally red team has somebody in the top lane after Zul is respawned. So blue team should have an easy time to clear all the waves because the red team is very dependent on Zul doing a good job. So you should be more aggressive against this. I like the rotation from ETC, but Zul shouldn't be solo laning top. So his team has to support him by either pinging him or letting him know that he should be rotating. He can't rotate on his own unless he goes like this way. But you want to clear the wave and then move through here. And you can only do that as 4 people. So you should always try to do that. Otherwise, he will just be stuck here up here because he's going to clear the wave and then the blue team is coming back. So rotation should be top to mid and mid to top. And then doing what ETC does here and gank the bottom lane. The Butcher is a pretty bad setup here against Gul'dan because he never can attack him basically unless he hits the Q. And now he just gets ganked and killed, I would assume. Okay, he doesn't have mana, I guess. Weird decision. That should have been a kill for sure. Yeah, this is really good. Aggressive movement against the Nazeebo here because he's alone. He shouldn't be able to just do that. Great rotation. This is something that I saw earlier when I watched the replay first. So this is one of the worst things that you can do. So let's have a look again at this. We have Zul and Diablo fighting up here against Greymane and Auriel. Auriel doesn't get a lot of heal out of the Greymane because Greymane's most damage comes from basically a couple of abilities. Once they're on cooldown, his auto attacks do damage, but it's not as amazing as Gul'dan where it like hits 2 to 3 heroes. So this gank has failed. That's fine. The Nazeebo got away. Tough luck. So now we're seeing a fight up here, right? And Ana does the correct thing. She mounts up, even though she's a little late, and moves up here. But Lunara is paying in here, and as you can see, there's 0 gems paid in, and there's opportunity to kill 2 heroes. So Lunara just paying doesn't make any sense. If she moves up, like look, Ana arrived already, and she moved much later than Lunara. Just move up in this situations. Like, if your pay doesn't include like 15 to 20 gems, and or doesn't like start the process of the weapon spawning, don't just pay like this if there's an opportunity to gank. Just like always look at the map, at the mini map, and also like look at what your teammates are doing. Okay, so there's a lot of lane switching here. Like Gul'dan is now top, Greymane left. They're losing here these 3 minions for no reason, and then they're now 4 mid. So hopefully there will be a rotation now happening where they fight against the other 4 because that's what you need to do. On the other side, Butcher has been staying bottom pretty much the whole game. But he's now losing against the Nazeebo instead of the Gul'dan. Nazeebo should be a little bit easier though. The Gul'dan should be doing more poke damage, just like spamming his Q, so his Auriel gets some energy. Like if you're not doing anything like this here, just like pathing here, there's minions. Just kill the minions with your Q. Good engage. A little bit unlucky. She could have gotten double stunned here, and then she would probably have been dead. Yeah, the Gul'dan plays too passively. He should be using his spells more aggressively. So now, again, everybody... I don't even know how that happened. Let me have a look at that. I just want to see. Because Greymane is suddenly bottom, and I don't even know when he left. Okay, so here's everybody. That's the sleep dart. Yeah, he just leaves. He's like, yep. I'm out of here. Okay. I mean, fair enough. He nearly gets a kill. I think if he was a better mechanical player, he probably could have gotten the kill. I think there's a couple of alt attacks that missed. So Red Team is doing pretty fine, despite having quite significant issues with wave clearing and rotating. This should be a kill, right? Yeah. Have a look. So this is a pretty horrible lane. There's no damage dealer with ETC and Oriel. Especially with Oriel, like she has more hope generation now with the latest patch, where she does more PvE damage, I think, in general. And the hope is that is generated is higher. But you have like no like hope to heal through Diablo and Zul, especially if you get stunned. So general advice is that you should always stay with a damage dealer as an Oriel. And she doesn't even move. I don't know what happened there. Maybe she just didn't think she had to move or something. But she's also taking the full creep wave here, so there's skeletons and range. Like, look how many range minions. 2, 4, 6, 7 range minions here. They do a lot of damage, so you should avoid that. But generally speaking, as an Oriel, it's never bad to be solo laning somewhere, because your wave clear is actually pretty decent. But it doesn't really help if you have like 2 damage dealers that are okay at wave clearing and producing hope, to leave them, because like somebody else making a mistake, not you. You should be with the damage alert that can provide you with hope. Okay, so blue team is close to paying in. This is good. Paying. that rotation was like. Hey, look at Diablo here. Where is he coming from? Okay, he's coming from top. So he's coming from all the way from top here. He's walking and walking and walking. So, okay, let's have a look at his vision. There you go. He has only 55 souls, right? So it's not amazing. Okay, so he sees that there's payment happening. He sees 2 heroes, and he decides, okay, well, we can just walk down here because the butcher needs help. Now he sees 3 heroes. Like, at this point you should, like, and I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but it's really funny, because at this point you should just, like, turn around and take your legs into your hands and run. And then he's like, yup, I'm just gonna... Okay, in this case, and I'm not 100% certain about that, but I think you can shadow charge one of the zombies, and then this moves you probably more around here. Not doing anything and just like shadow charging into the Greymane is probably not the best thing. That being said, he's smarter than me, because he knew that his healer was there, so he charged towards the healer. That also works. That's totally fine. Okay, so yeah, if you see 3 heroes here, probably the better rotation is to walk up here. Like, there's no reason for you to just walk into them. And that Gul'dan looked like a lot of out of position. Which again is the issue, that Oriel is somewhere on the map with ETC. She should be here with a Gul'dan. He gets the... So that's very, very good. She stays out of vision, Niana, which makes it easier to for her teammates to do something, because the Gul'dan doesn't know that she's here as well, so she could like sleep dart him or something out of the shadows. So now Gul'dan, let's see. Okay, so this is his vision. He only sees Zul on top. That's all he sees, and that's something that I meant with at the beginning of the video. This is important to just be aware of, no matter in which league you are. If you're bronze 5, if you're GM 5, this situation, you should never stay here. Like, you shouldn't be staying here. Like, this tower is really juicy, and give them level 7 as well. But there's like 2 siege giants and like 5 minions, 6 minions attacking this. This will drop a lot of health, even if you don't spam your spells against it. Maybe, put a corruption down or like 1 fell flame and see what happens. But you don't see anybody on the map. And that's the important thing. Like, nobody is visible to you. So you have to assume that everybody, like 4 people, are coming down here. Latest now, you have to run. Yeah, that's too late. And he even walked forward one more time. It doesn't really matter because he's dead. But that's just like really obvious that there's a gang coming. Good reaction by the team though. Coming down here, putting pressure on the tower. So the tower definitely died at the end. That's good. And Zul does what he does best. As soon as there's like 4 people of his team pushing bottom, which takes the advantage, the attention of the blue team away, he starts double soaking. He clears the wave mid, now he goes top. And he has a good target here on top as well. Like, he will be able to kill him. Good job, waiting here. Okay, unlucky. I think this is smart. Like, he could have run in and see if he could get a kill. But realistically, it's probably not gonna happen because he's still able to jump into you and then Q and E out. So they're all 5 here. What the red team should be doing is like just kite them a little bit, like they're doing it right now, and then disengage. There's no reason to fight. Same talent here. There's no reason to fight. The blue team will be able to pay, sure, but we have vision on them, so we can see what they're doing. And Zul just finished the wave here, so he's gonna move down here, maybe take the wave, and then be ready to fight. But if we fight now, we already lost like half health on Diablo and Lunara. We might not even be able to get, sorry, on Butcher and Lunara. We're not able to get our Diablo out. So just like run away here. Like move and not clump up like this. Very good. This was very good. Good disengage. So now we obviously have to be worried about them paying. But I guess Nazeebo has the most of the gems? No. We have 5 and 3 here, so it should be enough. This, I love this. I saw this earlier when I watched the replay. She's really good. Like, she's gonna sleep the ETC and then attack the Oriel. It's a little risky because the ETC probably has vision on her. Yeah, he sees her. When does he see her? Let's go back a little bit. And there you go. So they fight. That's all over. Risky for the ETC to stay here, by the way, as well. Okay, so now he loses vision over the Ana. They want to pay, and now he sees her. But I think the range of this is of the power set is not long enough. This is really good. She's out of vision again. Now she goes in, sleeps him. So now he's no danger because he doesn't wake up unless she auto attacks him, and then she auto attacks Oriel. Awesome. Like, interrupted here, allows her team to maybe fight here or do something else. Really well done. And I think they get the payment here from the Butcher. So super heads up play. Yeah, perfect. Super heads up play. If she hadn't done it, it probably would have been very close which team got the payment. This is a good fight. 3 versus 4. Like, you should engage here. Web Weavers are coming. And that's going to be something that I'm going to talk about here. So you got the map objective from the red team, right? So on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's very important that you snowball this advantage. The first pay is super important. In pro games, most of the time, and I don't have statistics, I'm just spitballing here, most of the time, the team that wins the first Web Weaver will continue to snowball the game into late game, and if you can't counter push, you normally die. So they don't have great wave clear, and they don't have great building attack on the red side, but they should take a lot of experience and buildings with the Web Weavers. The only downside at the moment is that because they were fighting around the mid and then were paying top and had to interrupt bottom, there's a mini wave here, there's a minion wave here, and only mid is kind of cleared. So they're going to lose this XP anyway to the towers already, but the Web Weavers spawn pretty largely behind the middle line. So if you want to see this, And generally speaking, you want to have them spawn more towards this, because then they attack buildings earlier. And you're going to see that the web weavers are actually not doing that much damage. This is the worst thing that you can do. They're all kind of just leaving the web weavers alone. Zul going top is fine because you're getting the XP from the minions. And you have Butcher farming middle. But now look at what happens. They're just 5 people here, and they just kill the web weaver. 1 web weaver down. They just easily heal against the Nara poison. So 1 web weaver is down. The other one here is spawned so far behind, and the minion wave has to be cleared before they actually move. And only top is pushing a little bit. So good decision by the blue team. They go top. And they have really great wave clear. Gul'dan, Greymane, Auriel, all have pretty good wave clear. We're going to talk about this in a second. So this is cleared. So the only web weaver that's still alive is on the bottom. So you definitely want to get forward from this, because you're also close to level 10 as a red team. So normally I don't recommend pushing as 5 early game until like maybe 13. Then you can generally like clump up and try to do everything together, unless you have like a global hero. But clumping up here is a good idea. You're nearly level 10. The tower will give you a little bit of XP. The minions are still here. And you can definitely force this. And you see all of them up top. So you kill just Nazeebo, and your chances are really good. So our next step will be to look at what they're doing with the 5-man push. But I want to look at the Nazeebo deaths here, because that's an issue in itself. And that's something that, again, you can learn for yourself for every league that you're in. So we established that we cleared the mid web weaver. So moving down here generally is not an issue, but he now sees the Butcher, and he knows that these guys are here, and he has vision of Diablo. So the only person that is missing from his vision, and he probably should have seen him with ETC spotting him here, is Zultop. But that means that there's going to be 4 people coming down to you and, trying to gank you. And all of your teammates are going up. So moving down here is already super risky. Like going this way through here is not a good idea. You want to just give up and then just move down here, and then defend behind the wall. That's something that a lot of the good assassin players in pro games also do. They know exactly when they can be aggressive and when they just like have to be super safe. And in this situation, you have to be super safe. Because he just walks in here against Diablo, who can stun you against this wall. There's still the Butcher that you saw earlier, and this Lord of Lunara. So there's no way that you survive this. Look how much XP that gave as well. That was like a third of a level or something. So always, like, if you are unsure, and that speaks just like to everybody, if you are not sure about how good you are and how much you can chunk out of a hero and how weak or strong a hero is, always choose the safe way. Again, this is really good. Let's move on. The fort is taken. They're level 10. They should be pushing a little bit more, at least like take this wave, because the blue team isn't level 10 until like another like 30 seconds or something like that. So if you just continue pushing here, you have a pretty good chance to do a little bit damage to the keep wall. This, on the other hand, is a little safer, but with no heroics burned yet, I feel like pushing a little bit more would have been more beneficial. You get 1 fort, you get none of the towers here, and you got the towers on the top lane. So you didn't get a lot of value out of it. You got a level. I think Nomi normally says like you want to have a level and a half after the first web weavers, but sometimes it doesn't work. That being said, being safe is also okay. This is a little scary because the Butcher now just uses E. That being said, they're all coming here to clean up. But again, this could have been a good fight because they don't have heroics. And as soon as both teams have heroics, we're going to talk about level talents and heroics for everybody as well. This is okay. Trying to protect both of the points to stop payments. That being said, we've seen everybody bottom, so having 3 people top is a little much. Healer should probably be staying with these guys, and Lunara definitely doesn't need to be here to clear waves because you have Zul. That's fine. And they have Vision bottom here as well, so it's kind of okay. The Greymane disconnected here for a second, but he comes back, so it's not too bad. Okay, so level 10. Let's have a quick look at talents. Nazeebo goes for normal build as a Toad build. You go Big Voodoo most of the times, and then Toads of Hugeness. I like the Gargantuan much better than anything else here. There's a long-range silence coming down here. If you're basically stunning yourself on your heroic, you're just going to be Lamb to the Slaughtered. So good choice on the Gargantuan. I think overall, both heroics are viable, but in this case they have too much CC. Diablo Stun, Diablo Apocalypse, Sleep Dart. I think the root doesn't do anything, but I'm not 100% certain from Zul, but basically it's a good choice. Gul'dan goes Echoed Corruption, Improved Life Tap, Burn, Bound by Shadow, and then Horrify. Horrify definitely good. And Bound by Shadow, I think, is acceptable. The only thing that I've learned recently is that Bound by Shadow is probably not as good as Hunger for Power. So Bound by Shadow reduces the cooldown of your E, of Corruption. So the thought is like, if I use Q a lot and I hit heroes, I get a lot of more E's, which then in turn gives me more damage. But the mathematicians in the hero community said this is an increased spell power for everything. So this means that you just flat out do more damage, even if you hit corruptions and even if you reduce your corruption cooldown. This is always better. So currently this is considered to be the only viable talent on level 7. And not only does it increase your damage you do, but also increases your own healing. So while you're nerfing your own healing with the talent by 25%, if you drain life, you get more life actually drained and more health back. So this is just like the best talent, and you should always go this from the consensus that we heard on Reddit and some pro players talking about it. Level 4, I think all of them are pretty viable. I think Health Funnel is probably not very good in competitive games in Hero League because you just don't need it that much because you always have a healer. But I think in quick match or something like that, or in like weird positions, like you play solo lane on a big map like Garden of Terror or I don't know, Infernal Shrines or something, this can be useful to just self-sustain you. And we've seen the W build in the Horizon Clash where I think the C and Taiwanese teams were playing. So it can be something, but I think it's probably the weakest of the talents. I personally like Improved Life Tap a lot. It means you need to tap less, means you're dropping less on life. That's good. And then Consume Soul can be super good because it can save you from clear death, because it just heals you for 550, so sorry, for 540. So if you eat 2 minions, you get basically 1000 HP heal for free. Other than that, let's see, Greymane goes for Wolfheart and Thick Skin as well as Quicksilver Bullets. That's all fine. I think Autotech and Cocktail build are both viable. That's totally fine. And then Go for the Throat is the heroic that has much higher win rate because it's easier to use. And in this case, you have Diablo, and I think a lot of people think like, oh, I have a very high health target, so the Cursed Bullet does more. The reality is, though, that Diablo has a lot of regen, so if you chunk him down, but he gets, for example, a globe in the minion lane or something like that, you didn't do anything a lot, because you can't really chunk down Diablo in like two spells and like the damage that you have. Like there's very little follow-up in terms of burst. Like you have Gul'dan and Nazeebo that are more dot-like. So Go for the Throat, definitely a good talent here. Or it goes for Majestic Span and then Empathic Link. I think that's both viable. I think her talent's actually pretty good at the moment. Empathic Link is, I think, personally very good if you have situations where your tank just get chunked and you don't have anybody providing you with energy. So you can just put it on the tank, he gets damaged, and you use your spells, and then you have a little bit of hope. And then Aegis is the go-to currently. I don't think that Resurrect is that good. ETC, Block Party was level 1, Loudspeakers is the normal talent level 4, and then Pinball Wizard is what most people go for if they don't go Stage Dive and Echo Pedal. So Pinball Wizard just gives you the ability to do some damage that is not expected, especially against out of position healers like Anna that can be very powerful because you chunk her down by quite a bit, and then she has to run away because she can't heal herself. And then Mosh Pit, I think it's okay. You just have to hit Diablo if you get Slam of the Lauder out for Mosh Pit, that's kind of cool. Like that's kind of worth it because it probably prevents him killing your backline. So that's kind of cool. Butcher. I have actually no idea about Butcher, so I think these are okay from looking at Hotstock Silence earlier. But yeah, I have no idea about Butcher. Ana definitely go-to build at the moment still. They buffed the magazine and everything. Well, I don't want to say buffed, but they changed it. But I think Darts and Mind Numbing Engine is still the way to go, and then Nano Boost. Please don't go IO Force. I think it's a horrible talent, and it should, or heroic, and it should be changed because you just basically self-stun with very little other utility except healing and damage, and I don't think that's very fun as a support. Lara goes Blossom Swell, as I do Nimble Wisp, that's the only talent that you go to, and then Wild Vigor. Interesting. I think Wild Vigor is okay. But Splinter Spear against Oriel probably wouldn't have been super strong, but it could be. But again, level 7 I think is on Lara very viable, and then again, we're just going to have a rework next week anyway, so not the end of the world. And then this is the standard build that everybody goes on Diablo. Devils do Demonic Strength. Oh, actually, it is not. It looks similar though. Let's have a look. Yeah, so normally you would have gone from the Shadows on Diablo because it is large charge range. I think the slow here is actually not bad, but then again, it's Diablo. We're going to see a rework next week, so that's fine. And then Zul, everybody goes Shade. That is cool like me. I like Shade much better than the Explosion one. I don't know why, but it's just my favorite. So I'm with Muffler here. And then Jailers and Harvest Vitality both are very strong. And then Poison Nova is, I think in this case, a little bit weak because, again, Oriel heals pretty well against dots. But if you get all 5, maybe you are in a better position. Okay, moving on. That was long already. So, point taken, the red team still has a payment coming up. That's really good. And they have a very strong Diablo now because he has all souls. Again, as I always say, if you use Apocalypse, you can only use it with with your other heroics. So just keep that in mind. Okay, one thing that you might not know, and that's why I'm pointing it out. Diablo is not unstoppable when he uses Shadow Charge. So when ETC now uses his Mosh Pit, here, you can Shadow Charge into it. I think there might be like a super small window where it works because Mosh Pit is like a channel ability that refreshes every 0.2 seconds or something like that. But realistically, you will always end up being stunned. Good reaction by the Butcher who puts Lamb of the Slaughter down. And then just overall chaotic fight. Gul'dan dies, Oriel is trying to keep somebody alive. Let's have a look back, and then everybody's just running around and not doing anything. But it's a 2-for-2 trade. Diablo loses his souls, that's really good. So with that out of the way, the red team should be easily able to get their payment because their hero is back. I think Diablo forgot that he respawned with salt, so he just went AFK. This is good. Put pressure on Oriel, make her use her heal now, and then the Butcher follow-up. Great Sleeping Dart again. Perfect. This is something that you should also avoid. The Diablo did it well, I think, earlier, where he went towards his healer. Butcher is worried about being stun-locked by ETC, so he walks a weird way around things. And that makes it even worse now for the Anatoly healer. He also is going to move down further here from what we can see. Move here. Like, sure, you're still in range from the ETC, but moving down here doesn't really help you with that because he's as quick as you are. But it makes it easier for Ana to just shoot down here and give you a heal. Because now you're out of range, she can't heal you anymore. That being said, this is smart. They lose vision. Not as big as of a deal with these two, but with ETC he can't perfectly aim his belts. And then this is really good. E is up again, charge somebody who's far away, and then heal off of them. So that was really well played. But if he walks... Ooh, that missed heal. That missed heal hurts. Well, on the other hand, they are... Oh wow, Ana's getting a kill. That was well done by her. She's playing super well. The Anna is, I think, carrying this team pretty much at the moment. So, another Webiver push has happened. If you missed it, that's no wonder, because it was done, I think, by the Zul. Let's have a look. One time back. Okay, it's already... Who called it? Huh? How far back did that happen? That was weird. Okay, there you go. So... Okay, so this is already the... Look at how... Like, okay, I actually missed that completely. So they paid here. That's at 825. And now the whole thing here happens with Butcher killing somebody here and moving down here. And what I want to tell you with this is that, first of all, Diablo's still AFK in the fountain. I guess he had something better to do at the moment. But also, while you're all fighting here, your Web Weavers are spawning, right? So the Web Weavers here are spawning good. They're towards the towers. That's amazing. Here, they're going to be spawning probably around the mid. That being said, they're spawning with your wave, so it's probably more going to be around your towers. That's kind of not so good, because then again, they won't be pushing. And then on the bottom lane, that's the most unimportant lane in this game, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, because nothing's happening here. Like, there's a lot of different angles that you can get ganked here, and so you normally don't want to be in the bottom lane to end the game anyway, especially because you have the boss top. So bottom lane is a pretty unimportant lane, and you already got the fort for the XP, so it's kind of okay. But now your Web Weaver spawns on the enemy lane, or on the enemy minions, and while you get some kills, which is really good, gives you XP and everything, basically you're losing the map objective again for nothing. So Greyman just kills it here. Here it's a little bit pressure, you get 2 towers, that's good. But then you're staying bottom to fight more, because, you know, things happening. Also, don't use Nano Boost on Diablo, please. Well, I guess there's not that many good targets here. But basically, you just lost your second payment, which was 55 gems, which is a lot. And you don't get anything out of it. You got a couple of kills, but your lead is now only like a level still. So you used 2 map objectives, and you got a bunch of kills, and you didn't actually get anything out of this. And that's pretty bad. Ooh, never rotate like this. Like, this is suicide. You see everybody here. Don't rotate it like sure, you don't want to support this guy, but always go around this way. Always. Never walk like this as a support this late in the game. Like, they have vision on you. The gates are gone. They just can kill you. That was really bad. You should be dead, actually. Yeah, she should be dead. Here comes the root. Oh, okay, no root. I guess it's on cooldown. Well, good for her, so she doesn't die. So yeah, the red team did everything they could, but now they only have 44 gems, and the blue team sitting on 1.5 payments. So the good thing is, what the red team did well, or what happened because of the kills, is that the blue team lost quite a bit of gems overall, so it's more difficult for them to get to another payment after the initial one. And they have Greymane with a lot of gems, so it's a little bit risky, because you always have to send him paying after the first payment. Again, paying like these 5 gems doesn't really do anything. Like, you should try to avoid this. Again, obviously it's not, like, it doesn't hurt anything, but if you're focusing on paying, you might miss out on opportunities to gank. Good mosh pit, good engagement. That being said, the Nazeebo's bottom doing his own thing. So it's 4 versus 5. Again, Apok only just pressing the R button. Good fear to counter. The engage, and then unfortunately they're just gonna die, I think. Yep. So this is also, Nazeebo shouldn't be bottom doing camps. That being said, it's 13 versus 14. They just got 13 now, as you can see, because the talents weren't picked during the fight, basically. So just engaging was okay. The engagement was actually pretty good. The mosh pit was pretty good, and they got a quick kill on the Lunara as well. Bye. But if your 5th is not there and the enemy team is a talent ahead, I don't think that's a very good engagement. But it's something that happens to everybody of us, like where you just have battle hunger. Like you see a good engagement opportunity as ETC, you slide in, you get like a good mosh pit with 4 people, and then you just get overeager. So now the blue team is a little bit of in a pickle because that's the third push and it's at nearly 12 minutes. So the web weavers are going to be a little bit stronger than they were before. And now the waves are also pushed a little bit. So this is spawning much closer to the lane than it was before. These are spawning nearly at the fort, and the fort only has half health. And up here, the boss lane, which is the most important lane, it's also pretty close to be spawning to the fort here. Good decision by the red team. 5 people going to be on top here. Spread that a little bit. Like, you shouldn't be standing in the E. Like, it looks like it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it just, like, is unnecessary dot damage. Again. This is, again, like, that's what I mean. Like, these are the things that you should be learning from these replays. So, you are safe. Like, just walk up here, Auriel. Like, there's no reason for you to not walk here. So you see 1-2 people, they just paid here, and they didn't have a lot of gems, so you can assume that all of them are here. So if you now walk down here, which is fine, it's still super dangerous because you're going to get charged by the Diablo if he wants to, but he doesn't have 16, so he doesn't want to necessarily fight. Clear this, that's fine, that's all cool. Your Gul'dan is up here. He sees everybody. Don't walk up here. Don't, like, they have 2 engagements that are deadly for you. They have Root and Butcher. Zul, if he is close to you, and I don't think you can, no, Zul, you can see Zul and the Butcher. So, I understand why you rotate like this, because it's the easy way, but you already were safe. So either just walk around here, which still is not very safe because they still have a very good engagement into you as web weavers are spawning into this. So in this case, as painful as it is, you have to walk all the way around here. Like, these guys are already out of position. Like, I think he should be a primary target for Diablo. He doesn't get shot by the fort. You can just charge into him. But if you walk into here and you have 2 heroes that are not like flankers, like if this was a Sonya and this was a tank, for example, you had Gul'dan, tank, healer, Sonya, I kind of see the idea because you're on the same talent here and you maybe want to fight here. But then again, you fight into Web Weaver, you fight without fort protection because it's firing on the minions. They're all here, all 5 of them. Your Nazeebo is down here doing the correct thing, clearing the wave. And you have 2 damage dealers here that will not be able to do anything because the only hard CC that you have is with you. Why do you walk up here? Okay, I have to see what the person is clicking. Let's go into their vision. No, where is she? There. Okay, so this is her vision. So they're dragging their movements, I think. Okay, that's fine. I see all 5 bot top. Okay. Yep, click, click. Click. Can I... How do I do this? It's... I want to remove the top bar, but I forgot the shortcut. Maybe this? No. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I think I just reset the replay, so we're gonna... No, not really. Okay, well, it's fine. Oh, it's... Okay, that's fast forward. Let's see. Anyway, we're gonna look through that. We're already spending too much time with this. So... Okay. So click, 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 click. So this click should never happen. Like, why would you even walk up here? So this is just a big mistake. Like, I think this might be game ending actually, because walking up here just puts you into danger of all 5 people here. That just doesn't make any sense. Now you're completely out of position. Your tank is gone. You're not mounted anymore. You also didn't mount up actually. Tuck, and you're dead. So this is something that you should just like always be aware of. If you don't have any movement abilities that can bring you into a different position, or some sort of armor or like panic button that you can use, don't walk this. Like, I know it's super painful to walk all the way around here, but it's the only way that you can safely help your team as a support or squishy. Like, if that was a Hanzo, he would have died as well. Maybe he could have jumped over the wall, who knows. But like, if the Gul'dan was in this position, he would have been dead as well. This is not worth it. So you trade Dolara against Greymane, which means you're trading one of the wave clears, and you're baiting your team in because they think they can maybe fight. Yeah, red team does very well now. Push more. They still have a little bit of a minion wave here. They have pretty much full health on, full mana on the. Ooh. Okay. The idea was okay. The execution was pretty sloppy by the ETC. So the idea was to like, we stun them and we fight. Unfortunately, nobody is with you, and you're still going to lose the keep now. There you go. So there are a lot of different decision makings that were really bad. The Greymane is way too aggressive. I think he's a little bit tilted now because it's twice in a row that he does those weird things. Red team now just leaves. So it's always difficult to give up a keep, because keep is like, for many people, the end of the game, basically. If you lose a keep, it's over, it's GG. And I understand that feeling, but if you look at the map, they didn't lose mid-fort. They didn't lose a lot of the keep. I mean, half of it, it's not great, but like, it's 40 minutes in and the enemy is level 80. So it's okay to lose this much. So if they just focused on the red side, on the blue side, on defending the keep, instead of like dying and diving into the frontier where there's nothing to gain, it would have been much easier. You can basically try to soak XP here in mid and soak XP here bottom and kill the web weavers, and you give up your keep. Sure, it's the worst keep to lose because it's where the boss is, but at least you level 16 versus 18 instead of fighting 15 versus 18, 3 levels down, 1 talent tier down, and just feed kill after kill to them. Okay, Nano Boost on Zul is, I think, better than the Diablo. You have more oh wow, he's also, yeah, this is, the blue team is now pretty much triggered and nothing's working out for them. The engages are like very desperate, and then they just try to do everything and nothing really happens for them. I think it's probably the last team fight that we're going to go into details with, because it looks that the game is pretty much over here. And that's something that you also have to keep in mind. The morality, or the morale of the blue team should be pretty high, because sure, the red team is in front, but we were thinking about going late game anyway because we have Nazeebo and Gul'dan. Both of them are getting stronger by 16 and 20. Butcher, unfortunately, is fully stacked, so this is a big issue for us. And our Nazeebo is missing 75 minions. That's like 11 minion waves, if my math is not completely wrong. That's a lot. That being said, their lanes are pushing quite a bit because they're always getting web weavers. So the focusing on the Nazeebo getting stacks, it can happen that he will be getting level 20 and the thingy, but it looks rather dire. So I understand that they want to fight here. So also they have the camp, which is good. So fighting in the camp because of the magic aura should be helping with a little bit of the poison damage. That being said, the auto attacks of Butcher just hurt now, and they're not magic, so this doesn't do a lot. Engaged by the ETC, he's a little bit too aggressive, especially because Greymane is not even here, and Nazeebo is also a little bit further away. The target he's power setting on is okay. The Zul is a good target. But as you can see, both of them, Gul'dan and Nazeebo, don't want to fight. Now they turn around a little bit. This is very, very dangerous for the ETC. I think the sleeping dart could have been saved here. Okay. This doesn't do that much if you just walk a little bit back. Okay, if you walk in here, then that's bad. But if you walk a little bit bad, like the Gul'dan, yeah, you don't get hit. There's 3 people poisoned. These are all full health heroes. Look at this. Like, everybody is full health. There's a nano boost on the Zul, and now your Greymane is coming back. Who is he going on? He goes on the Nazeebo. Worst target because he has the ice block. I think if you just walk a little bit and attack the Gul'dan, you're in a better position. That being said, you got the speed boost off of the Nazeebo, so that's kind of cool. As a Nazeebo, you probably want to use Ice Block immediately as he targets you, so that it gets interrupted and you can just run away. This way you just basically kill the Gul'dan. Everybody's pinging back. Some damage. So as risky as it is, you have to escape this way as a Gul'dan. You can't walk this way. You're not gonna survive this. I'm thinking you're already dead anyway, but roots are okay. This target should be dead anyway. A little bit overkill, I think, but probably worth it. Because he also has 44 gems. Yeah, he just gets chunked. Look at the auto attack that the Butcher does now. Dead. The Greymane is not even doing anything because he just came in so late that he wasn't even really in the whole thing. And then now just everything falls apart. So the engage again from the ETC, probably too aggressive, and he has the issue that they don't have a solo laner, which is a bruiser. So for example, if you have had a Sonya or something like a Dehaka or Blaze in this situations, it's much easier because when you go in as the ETC and then your solo laner follows up on you, or your bruiser follows up on you, it's much easier to survive these attacks. This is a pretty bad mistake here. Either all 5 go here, or at least four people, which include the healer. You can have one person trying to like interrupt their payment, but it probably will cost them their life, because 3-on-1 you still die. But 3 people here without the healer, you're taking a lot of damage from the boss, and that's gonna be difficult because then you can't push with the boss anymore because everybody either needs to tap or go back. Also, in case you didn't know, the closest you stand, or the closer you stand to the boss, no. Okay. The person that is closer to the boss, there you go, thank you for English, is tanking it. So the Zul just got hit quite a couple of times because the Diablo wasn't close enough. Like, just because you can alt-attack him doesn't mean that you have an aggro range. You can just like walk into the model of the boss and then you have aggro as a Diablo. That's what you should be doing. Because you have 100 souls, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you have 100 souls. You just go here, tap, or like even just fucking get a globe here somewhere, and you're full health. He's gonna have to probably teleport back or hope that Ana heals him up quite a bit. So always walk into the boss as a tank. There you go. Like that. Why not tank the boss? Now Ana has to like shoot like 10 darts at Zul. Okay, blue did a good job. The payment was important, and there's no really solution for the red team to do anything else. Like, boss is definitely the best objective on the map. Unfortunately, now with the Web Weaver spawning, you probably can't end here unless you get a couple of kills. And they reach level 16, so you want to get 20 before you want to fight again. Giving this up like this is, I think, okay. Like, obviously you don't want to lose the boss for nothing, but that being said, it has to go all the way here to the core. Have enough health to do damage, because otherwise it doesn't, like, if you just take the shields down with the boss, it doesn't really do anything. So if you leave it here, that's fine. It will clear up most of the Web Weaver here. They have to defend it as well, and then you can just like take out the other objective of the map. You probably lose the fort anyway, but this is gonna give you a little bit of XP. This gives you a little bit of XP, and if all is said and done, you might even get another wave or 2 from here and here before they can be able to rotate down. So good decision by the red team. It's always hard to just give up the boss after you got it, because you know, worked so hard for it. But it's the correct move. Like, you can't fight into Web Weaver, minion wave, and 5 people towards core. Look how much health he already lost before he's actually even got anywhere near close to the core. Interesting that the Web Weavers just ignore it. I didn't know that. There you go. So it didn't even help. But it makes it easier to clear everything up, and unfortunately that means for the blue team it is a lost objective. But it's definitely also the correct decision. Like, if the enemy team takes the boss, If you can get the payment through, if you're level down, a couple levels down, this is your best bet. It helps you at least push the wave, and you can normally clear the boss pretty easily. This is good. Unfortunately, they've been spotted here by the minions, so you can just walk up here. Like, this is again the shorter way from where they were. Just wrap around back and go here so you don't get into vision, because as you can see, oh, actually, I thought they had more vision. Look at this. Red team outsmarting me. They see you here. It's also something like everybody, there's like 5 people there. It's not necessary. Like, just let like 2-3 people clear the minions and just hide in the shadows. That always gives them something to think about if they're doing it right. Let's see. I think they actually might be hidden. Yep. Yep. Okay, I mean, you see the thingies, but you don't see anything else. That was really smart. Okay. So they don't know that you're here. This is really good. Again, it's a little risky because Miniwave was here, but it's definitely the correct move. And now you can wrap around. Like, this has to be killed. I wish this was Zul, because you could like clear the wave, and then you can wrap around here, and then into here, or around here actually, even like the longest way, because then these guys are like super caught. This positioning is okay. Like, you want to get value, you want to get push, because you don't want to fight when they're level 20. So if you can force them to come here and you can fight before level 20, that's kind of cool. But still, the red team obviously has great setup. They're nearly level 20. They have all heroics, and you're in a kind of middle of nowhere position. That being said, there's a Miniwave here. There's half a keep here. So if I was red team, I just go down here, take this out. I'm level 20. We're forcing a fight on the core. And even if they kill us and they get level 20, they still have to go through all 3 forts, 3 keeps, and the core. Even if we get wiped here, we, as the red team, by taking this, we're still in a better position than taking a risky 19 versus 20, 17 versus 19 fight. Where's Diablo? You shouldn't be this far forward. The good thing is they don't see them, but that being said, there's a wave here and a wave here, so it's very clear where they would be as the red team, where the red team is for the blue team. Oh, they don't even see the Zul yet. Interesting. Okay. There you go. Ooh, Zul, what are you doing? There's no boss here. Oof. He should be dead. You QE him from the Gul'dan, he gets stunned into the wall from the Oriel, Q follow up on the Oriel, and then Greymane just unleashes all of the spells that he has, and he's dead. He can't even get the shield on. Oh. I think this could have been where they turn it around. The Ana is also pretty much out of position. That could have been also a very good target. Yeah, it's a good target. Honestly, maybe even dance here. Yeah. Unfortunate, but it's the right thought. Like, getting both Ana and Diablo, maybe they can get the Zul here, and you just hope to survive. Look at this. 50% health immediately. Yeah. Good Aegis, but it's not gonna be enough. Yeah. They're level 20 now as well, even though most of them don't pick a talent yet. Okay, I want to see something. Okay, that's cool. So what I'm looking at is what level 20 talents, what storm talents people are picking. So if you can't select talent while you're fighting, this has to be something that you have to learn. Like you have to get the muscle memory to press control and then which number you want to pick. Like you have to be able to do this 1, 1, 1, or like in this case, like on 20, you have to know which talent is where, or at least know the symbols of what you want to do. Like it's important that if you want to get Bolt of the Storm on level 20, you know that you have to control 5 and you pick it. Like it's super important that you can do this. Like look at how much they have, little more than level 20 now already, and they still haven't picked the talent. It's really, really bad. Like these talents give you huge advantages. In this case, it's not important because they win the team fight, but it's really important that you get to be precise at picking the talents that you want at level 20 and like at every level basically. This should be game though. There should be not much else to be had. There you go. And then just go for core, tap if you need to, and then just go top core. What are you doing? No, what are you doing? Just go core. Okay, so if you're not going core, then at least pay. Hello? What the fuck? Okay, so this is horrible. You just wipe their team, you're level 20, just go fucking core, or pay. But like doing this doesn't do anything. Like this is really bad. Like, okay, now they paid. They should have just gone core. There's no way that the blue team can defend this. It was horrible decision making. It was pretty bad. This is go mid, take the fight. Like you have the heroics up, except the wave, the Nova. So just stay mid. Again, bottom lane is so unimportant. And it's already half health, so if you just go mid with your Web Weaver, it's much more impactful. Blue team is doing everything correct. Like, they cleared the one that is safe because it was obvious that they were there. Cleared top one, so that means that there's no Web Weaver pushing, and now it's only one Web Weaver going to the core. So, great defense by the blue team, and not giving up. I like that as well. Like, they're pretty much down. They know that they're probably going to lose this game, but they're still doing the correct things. Like, they're not being AFK in base or whatever. They cleared this. They could have cleared the catapults, but it's difficult because they have quite a bit of HP. They cleared mid, so there's no pressure here, and the only pressure is now bottom. So if they can miraculously fight and win against this, they're actually in a pretty good position because they only have 2 lanes pushing against their core. And that's always what you should be looking at, like always like short-term wins, little wins. And that definitely is a little win. Okay. Wow. Okay. Whew. So the red team, the only thing that the red team just got out of a complete team wipe at level 20 is losing all of their gems, basically. And bottom keep. With the 4-level advantage that they had. That's just not enough. Like, it's literally not enough. You have to be more powerful. Like, you have all of the heroics up. All of them. And you're level 20 versus 18. Like, what is your next move? Like, are you going to farm 30 gems and then get another payment? Like, what's the game plan? Like, look at, they only have to pay 55 gems, and all of your waves are pushing in. Top wave is pushing in, bottom wave is pushing in, and they even get mid wave gems and XP. So they're going to be level 20 very soon. This is very bad. Like, you should be more decisive. If you have 20 versus 18 lead, at least with Web Weaver, try to go core. If it doesn't work, sure, you might lose, and you might, like, or might lose the team fight, I want to be specific, and the enemy gets level 20. But the way that you're doing it now, like the war of attrition on Tomb of the Spider Queen can go like bad really quickly. Like, he only needs like 30 more stacks, and then he's going to be a beast, and he's going to kill everybody because he just totes into Butcher, Diablo, and Zul, and all of them lose like 80% of their health. Good luck. This is really bad play. Like, you should always try to finish games when you have a huge advantage like this. You had a map objective pushing, and you didn't do anything with it. Like, you got 1 keep, that's not enough. This is bad positioning by the blue team. Yeah, use your spells from distance. This is good. Use it, yeah, nuke in there. That's very good. Sure, you help him with you help him with the clearing of the camp, but at least you're also doing some damage. Okay. See, there you go. Like, this is exactly what they could have done here with the Web Weaver. Good counter kill from the Graham, but it's not enough. It's just not enough. So positioning of the blue team was pretty bad. There's waves pushing in, so just stay back. I mean, if you give up the last keep, it's probably over, but let's be honest, like, it was over probably before that already. So just let them push, and then you can try to get one like last defense by soaking all the XP, because as you can see, right, sure, the kill gave you a lot of XP, but you're close to level 20. Like, if this pushes in, you'll probably get level 20, and you can maybe fight one last time somewhere. That being said, overall, because we're not gonna look at the core dying, it's very difficult because, I mean, sure, you have top lane at least clear, and the boss is respawning in 15, so maybe miraculously as a blue team you do the team wipe on level 20, take the boss, and then go through here. But it looks pretty grim. So red team definitely did well, but honestly, again, this team fight could have happened like a minute earlier here. Like, there's no reason to wait for this. Okay, let's have a quick look at talents, where I give you the talent build and have a look. Again, I don't have no idea about Butcher. I think Butcher is probably fine. Nazeebo's looks good. I think level 16 is probably not the best talent. At the moment, many people are playing Voodoo Ritual thingy, Soul Harvest. Here, there you go. I call it Voodoo Ritual because it just also gives you more XP, but it's obviously wrong because that's your trait, but it helps you to get even more XP, yeah, even more health. And also gives you more spell power. I think it's better. The basic ability cooldown reduction, I think, is, after the nerf of the spiders in general, probably not as good anymore. So I would go Ring of Poison or Soul Harvest. I think Ring of Poison with so many melees can also be pretty powerful. That's okay. I think a Harvest Life on 13 on Gul'dan against what they have is not the correct choice. You probably want to go more towards the health stone, because it gives you another oh shit button that you can click when you get chunked by anybody. I think that would have been better in this case. Other than that, what else do we have? So Encore was one of my favorite talents on ETC for a long time, until I played with some people from Master and GM, and they swear that oh cool, I have a Nazeebo face. That mic check is much better, because you basically want to use your face melt as either engagement by either knocking somebody back into your team, or after a power slide you knock them back into your team, or as peel, where some people are charging onto your team and you use face melt to push them back. And in this case, they have 3 melee heroes that want to go onto your squishies. So if you hit at least 2, you have a face melt up that is much quicker. Like 6 seconds means that you only have 4-second cooldown on this. So it's probably the best level 13 talent. And I think I've been converted away from Encore, because Encore is obviously also stational, which means that it only is there where you did it first. Okay, other than that, that looks all pretty good. Alpha Killer is fine. Will of Heaven is, I think in this case, the wrong talent, for sure. Interesting choice. Yeah, the Greymane struggled quite a bit against what they had, and for good reason, because he can't really go in against Zul, Butcher, and Diablo. So I would definitely, in this case, go for Wrath of Heaven, because it gives 10% more spell power, and then Gul'dan and Nazeebo both are more spell heavy characters, heroes. So I think that's the wrong talent here in this case. Other than that, Lunara's build is a little weird. I think Giant Killer is unnecessary against what they have. Like, they only have ATC. Maybe you can chunk him down, but I feel like Poison Spread would be better because it pushes everybody a little bit. But that being said, they won, so it's not really my place to judge. These are definitely wrong at the moment, but then again, it's Diablo, so who cares? Yeah, you shouldn't, like, if you still like watch this and play until Wednesday, Devastating Charge and Domination are the clear talents at these levels, 13 and 16. Unless you play quick match or like unranked and just want to goof around, Devastating Charge is so much more powerful than anything on this level. And then Domination just gives you more Devastating Charge by having more Shadow Charges available. So until Wednesday for Europe or until Tuesday for the US, please go for these two talents, Domination and Devastating Charge. Yeah, Zul is I think that's what you play on Zul. Amplifying damage amplified damage is really good. Like I love Zul has fallen out of the grace for many people, but I think he's a great character. He does exactly what he needs to do: wave clear, and push lanes. That's still his thing. And then Bone Prison is such a good spell because it gives your team a target. Like it literally like has a sound effect. It grabs the enemy target. It's imprisoned, and if you have little skeletons that spawn that hit the little target, like everybody knows this person should be the target. So amplifying the damage of this is great because everybody should be attacking the rooted target anyway. Okay, I think that's all I want to talk about talents. One last quick thing about drafting, and again, this is gold and plat, so it probably will not be as important to draft meta heroes as much. And we don't know the bans, but overall, I just want to say the blue team is definitely lacking a solo laner, a proper solo laner. The red team as well, by the way. But they have, I think, what I consider better than what the blue team has. The blue team has basically 3 range assassins, and 2 of them are mages, which I personally don't like. I don't like double mage. And yeah, I know Nazeeb is a specialist, but realistically he's a mage because he's using spells to do damage. And double melee with Butcher Zul is not the greatest because you also have, you know, the third melee in this into like lots of dots and stuff. But this allows you, at least if you go in with a Diablo with a Butcher, there's follow up. Like if you go in with Butcher and you charge in, your Diablo can shadow charge in. Your Zul can fall in as well. On the blue team, if ETC goes in, there's nothing that follows up on him. Like maybe Greymane, but he's afraid of what they have. So if the Greymane was like a Blaze or a Sonya that are a little bit more tanky, he doesn't have to be so afraid. He might not have done as much damage, but the siege damage would have been the same. Like Sonya, Blaze, both would have been better picks in this case. And then for the blue team, I think maybe exchange the Butcher for something else. The Zul fits very well on the map. Was picked quite frequently before all of the changes to the laning phases and everything. He was super powerful on this map as well. So I'd rather pick something else with that. And if the Butcher was picked first, I'd probably also still change the Zul to something else that is more solo laner than Zul, because you definitely need that. If the blue team has like a proper solo laner, you just lose that lane completely, and then who knows how the early game goes. Last but not least, wave clear. Again, blue team, excellent wave clear. Red team, only wave clear with Zul. And as you can see, the Diablo actually has quite a bit of wave clear because of the talent choices. Other than that, they didn't have much problem to get these numbers because obviously they were ahead all game. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much if you went all the way to this very long ass video. But I like these replay commentaries from these lower leagues because they are a lot of things that you can learn from, I think. So if you did, let me know. And again, if you want to see more videos like this or more replays from lower leagues, please contact me, put me in the comments, poke me in the comments, and then I'll get in touch with you. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.